Hello, tech enthusiasts. Welcome to the Daily Byte. Let's get into today's top tech stories. Epic Games cuts 1,000 jobs as Fortnite slows. This one's rough. Epic Games just announced they're laying off 1,000 employees, and they're pointing to declining engagement in Fortnite as a major factor. Fortnite has been a cultural phenomenon for years, but apparently player interest is dropping enough to force this major restructuring. This reflects broader challenges in the gaming industry. Keeping players engaged long-term is incredibly difficult. The layoffs could impact development timelines, feature updates, and Epic's ability to stay competitive in the gaming market. It's a reminder that even the biggest games can't coast on past success, and the human cost of these business decisions is always significant. Sam Altman's fusion power vision takes shape. Fusion energy just took a major step toward becoming real, commercially viable power. OpenAI is in advanced talks to actually purchase electricity from Helion Energy, which is a fusion startup that Sam Altman has heavily backed. Now here's the interesting part. Altman is stepping down as board chair of Helion as these negotiations move forward. This isn't just about avoiding conflicts of interest, though. This signals that fusion power is getting close enough to commercialization that actual power purchase agreements are on the table. If this deal goes through, OpenAI could power its massive, energy-hungry AI operations with fusion energy. We're talking about the holy grail of clean energy, potentially powering the future of artificial intelligence. The timing couldn't be better, considering how much electricity these AI data centers consume. Designing the next generation of AI chips. A comprehensive technical document just dropped that's getting serious attention from chip engineers. This isn't your typical surface-level overview. It's a deep technical guide covering both hardware architecture and software optimization for AI chips. What makes this particularly interesting is the author's background. They've got hands-on experience from Google's TPU development team and NVIDIA's GPU engineering division. The document breaks down design principles and methodologies that major tech companies are actually using in production. For anyone building specialized AI hardware, this is essentially a roadmap of industry best practices. It covers everything from architectural decisions to software optimization strategies, showing how the two need to work together. This kind of knowledge sharing could genuinely accelerate the next wave of AI chip development, especially for smaller companies trying to compete with the giants. ChatGPT gets a personal file library. OpenAI just rolled out a feature that honestly should have existed from day one. ChatGPT now automatically saves all your uploaded and created files into a personal library. We're talking documents, spreadsheets, presentations, basically anything you share in your chats. Before this, if you uploaded a file to ChatGPT and wanted to reference it later, you'd have to upload it again, which was pretty annoying. Now, everything gets automatically organized and stored for you. This is particularly useful if you're using ChatGPT for work projects where you're iterating on documents across multiple conversations. The feature provides persistent storage and easy access without needing external file management. It's one of those quality of life improvements that makes the whole experience feel more polished and professional. Agile Robots teams up with Google DeepMind. Agile Robots just became the latest company to partner with Google DeepMind, and this collaboration is all about making robots smarter. They're integrating DeepMind's robotics foundation models directly into their robot systems, which is pretty significant. But here's what makes this partnership interesting. It's not just one way. Agile Robots will be collecting data from their robots in the real world and feeding it back to DeepMind to help improve those AI models. It's a win-win situation. DeepMind gets valuable real-world data to train better models, and Agile Robots gets access to some of the most advanced AI in robotics. This is part of a growing trend where DeepMind is teaming up with multiple robotics companies, and honestly, we're seeing the foundation for a new generation of intelligent machines being built right now. China unveils deep-sea tourism submarine. China just unveiled its first deep-sea tourist submersible, and this thing can dive to 1,000 meters, that's over 3,000 feet down. To put that in perspective, China already operates dozens of tourist submarines, but those are limited to about 20 meters deep, basically snorkeling depth. This new sub represents a massive leap in capability, opening up entirely new underwater worlds for tourists to explore. We're talking about reaching depths where you can see shipwrecks, unique marine life, and geological formations that most people will never experience. This could completely transform underwater tourism, not just in China, but potentially worldwide as other countries develop similar capabilities. It's also a flex of China's advancing underwater technology, which has applications beyond just tourism. Mirage, the company behind the AI-powered video editing app Captions, just raised $75 million in growth financing from General Catalyst's Customer Value Fund. That's a serious amount of cash. The funding is specifically earmarked for building and improving AI models that power the Captions platform. If you haven't used Captions, it's basically AI doing the heavy lifting for video editing, the kind of work that used to take hours of manual effort. This funding round shows that investors are betting big on AI-driven content creation tools. With $75 million in the bank, Mirage can hire more AI researchers, train bigger models, and add features that make video editing even more automated. For content creators, this could mean tools that get scarily good at understanding what you want and just doing it. The bar for video editing is about to get raised significantly. FCC blocks foreign router approvals. The FCC just made a big regulatory move by adding foreign-made consumer routers to its covered equipment list. And here's the kicker: they're prohibiting approval of new models. This means that new foreign-manufactured routers won't be able to get FCC certification to be sold in the United States. The regulatory action is clearly targeting imported networking equipment, likely over security concerns. For consumers, this could mean fewer options when you're shopping for a router, and potentially higher prices as the market gets more restricted. Supply chains for networking equipment are going to feel this change too. It's another example of how geopolitical tensions are reshaping the tech products we can actually buy. And networking equipment is increasingly viewed through a national security lens. Your home router might seem innocent, but regulators are taking these devices very seriously. OpenAI backs away from ChatGPT's shopping features. So, remember when OpenAI tried to turn ChatGPT into a shopping platform? Yeah, that's not happening anymore. The company is officially discontinuing its instant checkout feature, which let users buy things directly through the ChatGPT interface. This is a pretty significant retreat from their earlier vision of making ChatGPT more like Amazon. It looks like users just weren't interested in shopping through their AI chatbot, or maybe the business model didn't make sense. Either way, OpenAI is clearly refocusing on what it does best, core AI capabilities, instead of trying to compete with e-commerce giants. Sometimes the best strategy is knowing when to stick to your strengths. Is this information helpful? Let me know in the comments. Tap like, hit subscribe, and share with a friend. It really helps the channel. See you in the next edition of the Daily Byte.